They thought it was just another interview, just another appearance, just another quiet night under studio lights. But what if I told you that in Menglong's final public footage, there's something most people missed? Something that now feels chillingly intentional. Something that changes everything we thought we knew about the days leading up to his passing. When fans first saw that clip, no one noticed anything strange. You smiled, spoke politely, even cracked a few jokes. The same gentle, composed man everyone admired. But now, looking back, it's almost impossible not to see it. The subtle shifts in his tone, the tightness around his eyes, the way his hands trembled slightly when a particular question came up. That night, he wasn't just tired. He looked haunted. And when you slow the video down, when you listen closely, you realize he was trying to tell us something. For months, people speculated. Was he under pressure? Was something happening behind the scenes? Why did he disappear from the public eye so suddenly after that interview? But no one had answers. Until recently, when previously unreleased behind-the-scenes footage began to circulate online. The clip was short, barely 30 seconds. But what it showed changed the entire narrative. After the camera cut, Menglong stood up, thanked the crew, and then turned toward someone off-screen. His voice was calm, but the words were clear. He said, "Tell them I did what they asked. I can't keep this up anymore." The room went silent. No one on set dared to respond. And the next day, that footage was quietly buried. For years, his fans believed his passing was an accident, a tragic, unexplained event that no one could have seen coming. But now, with the resurfaced video, people are beginning to question everything. Who was them? What was he asked to do? And why, just hours later, did multiple staff members report that you seemed distressed and unnaturally quiet? Digging deeper into production records, fans uncovered that the interview was funded by a branch company under the same management group you had been trying to leave for months. According to people close to him, you had repeatedly voiced frustration about contracts, specifically clauses that restricted him from speaking about internal issues. Some say he wanted to go independent. Others claim he was preparing to expose something much bigger, something that might have shaken the entire industry. In the days leading up to that interview, you reportedly told a friend, "If something happens, check the files under my name. Don't believe what they say." At the time, his friend thought he was just venting. But now those words sound like a warning. Because, shortly after his passing, certain documents linked to Yu's projects mysteriously disappeared. Entire drives were wiped clean. Emails gone. Schedules vanished. And the footage that remained? Conveniently edited. Still, one small error changed everything. A fragment of raw audio was accidentally left in a backup archive. The same one that later surfaced online. When analyzed, you can hear faint background noise. Two voices whispering. One says, "Don't let him speak about it." The other replies, "He already knows too much." Moments later, the recording ends. Coincidence? Or evidence that something darker was at play? Even those who once dismissed fan theories are now admitting that too many things simply don't add up. Why did several of Yu's colleagues leave the company abruptly afterward? Why did insiders who tried to discuss the case online have their posts deleted within minutes? And most of all, why did the company issue a statement so vague it raised more questions than it answered? Behind the glamour of the entertainment industry, there's a shadowed side most people never see. Contracts written in silence. Promises made and broken behind closed doors. And when an artist dares to question the system, they risk becoming invisible. For Menglong, that final footage feels like both a cry for help and a confession. He wasn't just performing that night. He was trying to leave us a message. A clue hidden in plain sight. Some fans began decoding the background details. A flicker of light on his wrist. A bracelet he'd never worn before. A faint mark near his collarbone. An emblem visible for just 1 second behind him, belonging to a company partner that had quietly rebranded months earlier after multiple legal disputes. Every frame felt loaded with meaning. Even the way he said goodbye, his voice trembling, his words heavy, as if he knew it might be his last. Soon, amateur investigators started piecing together a timeline. They discovered that, days before the interview, you had requested a private meeting with management. He wanted to renegotiate terms, to take creative control, to distance himself from certain deals. The meeting was postponed twice. And then, suddenly, it never happened. Instead, he was told to attend a special interview, which turned out to be the footage now haunting everyone. To outsiders, it was just a press event. But to those close to him, it was a moment of quiet rebellion. He showed up, did what was required. But his eyes told a different story. That's what the footage reveals. Not just exhaustion, but fear. Fear of what might happen if he stopped complying. Fear of what he knew and couldn't say. After his passing, investigations seemed to stall. Authorities cited lack of evidence. Reports went silent, and those who asked questions were told to move on. But the fans didn't. They archived every clip, every frame, every article. They compared lighting patterns, timestamps, security records, and what they uncovered was a network of inconsistencies, cameras that were malfunctioning, witnesses whose statements were changed overnight, and one name that kept appearing, a senior executive who quietly resigned, just weeks after Yu's death. That's when theories turned into suspicion, because when people start deleting evidence, you have to ask, why? Why erase an artist's digital trail? Why destroy footage that could have brought closure to millions of fans? Unless that footage contained something someone didn't want seen. Today, that same deleted clip has become the centerpiece of a growing public demand for answers. Petitions have been filed, investigations reopened, and those who once dismissed the case as conspiracy are now calling for full transparency. Even journalists are beginning to admit that maybe, just maybe, Yu Menglong knew what was coming. There's a haunting moment near the end of the footage. Yu looks straight into the camera. His smile falters. His gaze hardens. And then he says, "Truth always finds a way." It sounds poetic, but when paired with everything we know now, it feels like a declaration. Almost as if he knew someone would one day uncover the truth. He wasn't allowed to speak. In the end, it's not about one video. It's about what it represents. The silence forced upon artists,